You are actually on it. So please keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're doing more than anybody.
You changing my life in a podcast, Christabel. Hi, welcome back to T1 Dialogues. I'm your host today, Rachel Halverson, and I'm thrilled to introduce our guest, Christabel. Christabel is a diabetes specialist nurse with more than 13 years of experience empowering people with diabetes through education, culturally tailored support, and innovative strategies. She currently works with Birmingham Community Healthcare in the UK, but her impact reaches far beyond that. She's also deeply involved in diabetes initiatives across Africa, working to close gaps in access and awareness. Um, Recently, Christabel was awarded the Not Just a Patch Global HPC CDE CDCES grant, which she's using to expand her work with underserved communities, launch community based workshops, and pursue advanced training to bring cutting edge knowledge back to her patients and colleagues. And so we're going to talk about her journey today and what this grant means for her work and her vision and the future in diabetes care worldwide. Christabel, thank you so much for being here. What an intro. You are so cool. Thank you
Oh,
for being here today to talk with us.
thank you so much, Rachel, for having me. Oh, thank you.
Fabulous. Well, let's of course. Can you share a little bit about your journey and what drew you into diabetes care and education about 13 years ago?
Okay. So, I am super excited to be here, and thank you so much, Rachel, for having me. So, my journey with diabetes has been quite, will I say, sympathetic one. Because I came into the world and I met my mom and dad living with diabetes. So it was really a very challenging period for them. I watched my dad go through injections every day. My dad was living with type 1 diabetes while my mom had type 2 diabetes. It didn't really make so much sense to me until later I had to start getting involved when I got into nursing. I had to start getting involved in their management and care. So after a while, I it got worse and worse and worse to the extent that they both of them had to die from complications of diabetes. So it was a very sad moment for me. Like I didn't see this coming. I didn't envisage it coming. I felt really bad about it. So it was a very challenging period because losing both parents within a short space of time was the worst thing that could happen to anybody. So I couldn't juggle through life successfully the way it was with them being around. It was really stressful. At the same time, I was also scared for myself. Will I be down with diabetes at some point? So I needed like answers. I needed explanations. I didn't know what I did wrong that made me lose my parents or what I didn't do that made me lose my parents. So when I transitioned into the UK, I left Nigeria for the United Kingdom. I realized there was an opportunity to specialize as a diabetes specialist nurse. I was super excited about it. At the same time, I felt bad because I felt, oh, here am I trying to help others. I should have helped my parents if I had the necessary knowledge, skill, strength, and expertise to do that. So that was what drew my passion. What that was what actually got me into it. I gave literally my all. Like I wanted to know about it. I got myself enrolled to do a master's in diabetes. So I really wanted to know all the nitty gritties about diabetes. And when I got into the role as a diabetes specialist nurse, I fell in love with it, honestly. I literally saw my mom and dad in every single patient I was to attend to. So it was my way of kind of giving back to my parents. And I am out, totally sold out to make sure that everybody out there that I come in contact with living with diabetes is equipped with the knowledge to do it, is equipped with the strength to do it, is equipped with even the skill if required to do this because I realized that one thing that was lacking with the care and management of my mom and dad was they didn't have a adequate knowledge. They didn't have that good support system. They were just working with what they know. Okay, don't eat this. Okay, eat this. You have to stay away from this. At some point, my dad wasn't eating. My dad went into being a vegetarian, but it was so difficult to manage. But later, with all these things, he still died. So it's really hurting. But I am so glad, like literally excited that I am in this role. I don't think I'm ever going to go out of this role at some point. Never, because I'm loving it. I am still loving it and will continue to love it.
Wow, yeah, that's an amazing, like, very personal and pivotal moments for you. I think a lot of people, especially if you're listening in the United States or in the UK or some of these other countries, like, don't realize how dangerous, like, a lack of not only lack of education and or lack of access to education, I should say. A lot of people seem people just don't know what's going on, but it's that they didn't have anybody, they didn't have a diabetes nurse to help them.
Absolutely.
And that's extremely dangerous. And so I'm excited and both sad that those were the reasons that it brought you into the diabetes space, but I'm excited that someone as passionate and intelligent and cool as you are here. So you can definitely, I'm sure, are making such a big difference in helping people get the access to that knowledge that they need, and then hopefully we can all work together to get access to medication and technology too, which is a whole nother shenanigan here. So but yeah, that's I always I really admire people that don't have diabetes that go into diabetes,
Oh,
because
I
as
know.
somebody with diabetes myself, it made sense that I would do it. So
Yeah,
I think it's really cool when
absolutely.
people like yourself are here working with us. So amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
at some point, Rachel, people were like, "Oh, are you in the role because you've got diabetes or something like that?" I was like,
yeah.
"No, I don't have diabetes, but I'm really, really passionate about this job. Well, not the job, the subject matter diabetes, you understand? So it's becoming, sorry to use this word, when I go out to teach like healthcare practitioners about diabetes management and things like that, I always use the term that diabetes is unfortunately becoming a pandemic without us actually realizing it is. It's beginning to affect like literally everyone in every home as we speak. You could, if you trace back, you could identify one or two persons living with diabetes. And if we've got the necessary knowledge out there, we will be able to really curb this ravaging illness. Honestly, I know it took the life of my parents. I'm still sad about it, but I think this happened so I can be motivated so much to push forward. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm in this role. I'm excited. I'm part of the move to drive diabetes, if possible, to a stop. I'm really, really excited about it.
Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about kind of like your day to day, working at the Birmingham Community Healthcare is it NHS Foundation Trust.
Yeah.
As an American, words I'm unfamiliar with, but yeah, tell me a little bit. What does like kind of a typical day for you look like as a diabetes nurse specialist?
Okay, yeah. So a typical day for me is always very busy. It's always busy, busy because I always, every day, have loads and loads of people to talk with. I mean, patients, sorry, to have a chat with, health educate, and probably look at their regime, and probably then talk to the medics about the medical doctors about their regime and provide some action plans, suggestions. Then we could do like an MDT, have a discussion with our teammates in to arrive at a decision regarding our patient's plan. And then I could have trainings as well. I could move from the training room for healthcare practitioners to the wards for patient review to training of a patient with the use of insulin pens, with the use of the glucometer machine or hypo management, stuff like that, or even discussion with the family relatives or discussion with the patient, him or herself, on how to self manage. You understand? So developing a plan together, because whatever I do, I need to always involve my patients in it. So let's have a plan together of what to do. So it's always a busy one because we are a big trust. So I tend to oversee a lot and I come in contact with a lot of patients in a day. My start of the day, I move from probably the training room to the wards, back to the training room, or to a virtual review or an MDT. And then that's the way my day goes and it closes.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm getting tired just here. Yeah, I think people like really when it seems like a lot of the time diabetes specialists and educators are maybe sitting at the desk and talking but no, we're talking to all kinds of different people about all kinds of different topics, working with other healthcare providers and it's a lot. It's good.
It's a lot.
It's fun.
But yeah, oh my God. I don't get tired. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm probably it's by the time I get to my house, I realize, oh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But honestly, but whilst in it, I really don't get tired. I could stand for an hour, 30 minutes to not always up to 2 hours, but an hour, 30 minutes talking, discussing with healthcare practitioners about diabetes management, trying to teach them about diabetes management. Well, it's always, take it from me, it's always interesting. It's always
Yeah.
interesting.
Totally. I hear you. That's one of the things I enjoy about it as well, is it's just a lot of different stuff. So you never get bored. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's so it sounds like you're seeing like lots of different for people that don't know, like, in healthcare, a lot of the time you sort of are at least in my neck of the woods, like, I don't typically work with pediatric or gestational or things like that, but it sounds like you have, like, maybe a mix of all of those different types of people. Do you feel like pediatric and gestational patients especially, are there just, like, unique challenges that those groups face, as opposed to just adult patients?
Well, pediatrics, I do not attend to them because I'm basically an adult nurse.
Okay, got
So
it.
yeah, I do not attend to pediatrics at all. So when I was with a former place of work, where there I was really exposed to both gestational, every form, inpatient, outpatient, every individual. But what my current place, the BCHC at the moment, I do not get involved with gestational diabetes. So I am mostly engrossed with adult diabetes and it's inpatient, type 1, both all types of diabetes besides gestational diabetes.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think people don't also realize how many types of diabetes there are in adult health. I think they're usually we are seeing so many late diagnosed type 1 and latent autoimmune and MODIs and all of that
Big
good
deal.
stuff. So, yeah.
The type 3Cs now, you can
Mhm.
imagine. Like, and
Yeah.
it's coming, so many new ones are coming up, you know? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly.
This is I'm very pro if people have heard me talk. I used to be I understood the cut and dry type 1, type 2, but as I've worked in education and then as we've just modernized care, like, it seems more like diabetes is kind of a spectrum. Like, you may have people that are insulin dependent, some have an autoimmune component, some have resistance, some but they sort of, like, often mesh
They come and
together.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, there's yeah, I feel you. You're definitely you got a lot going on with a lot of different people, even if it's just adult population. So, it's enough, for sure. Because as we start adding in gestational and things like that, it gets, you got other challenges to deal there.
Absolutely. Those is a word of their own.
Totally. Yes, exactly. Um Right. What do you so I know like when I was like reading your grant application and everything and I know you kind of highlighted underserved communities as a focus. Can you tell us about a project or a story that really kind of illustrates that work or like what you yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
So currently I'm moving my wings, if I should put it that way, to Africa. So extending it to the management, care, and education of individuals living in Africa. We understand that Africa seems to be under the underserved, do you understand? Atmosphere, community. So I really want to explore, not explore specifically, rather extend my knowledge, skill, expertise to every individual living with diabetes. I may not cover every individual, but just extend my hands of care, my hands of friendship to every individual in Africa. So we kickstarted the program a while ago, but we are still soft pedaling with it, and we are ready to kickstart, like move with the speed of light at the moment, since we've got sort of funding from you guys, which we are absolutely grateful for. So we started this move called the Diabetes Champion. So this diabetes champion, although we started with education and it was sort of a YouTube channel, I'm like, it's not enough. We really need to go face to face because it's not everybody that is on YouTube. Some of our elderly individuals are not on YouTube. So that was what prompted us to start reaching out. So currently, as I speak, I'm in Nigeria. So we will be going, my team and I will be going to churches and certain areas, certain communities to help educate the individuals on diabetes management. And then we are going to providing them with free stuff, blood glucose testing materials, and then we do a little bit of like an assessment on them and let's say refer them to our sister hospitals where we could always contact for assistance. So this is the move we have kickstarted. We had our meeting the other day and we were happy to set that in motion. So we are getting free blood glucose meters for some individuals who will be fortunate to have this. We are going to be teaching them, exposing them to literally like simple things with diabetes management, and then exposing them also to what is available in our community on how to manage diabetes, if that makes sense. For example, the meals, the kind of meals we have, what you can use specifically to use. So it's going to be, we are a team of both a doctor, nurses, nutritionist that is going to help us, assist us in all this discussion. I will also be doing a talk as well. So hopefully I should be sending you a video once that is done.
Yeah, great. No, that is, exactly what community outreach and community support is about, is sort of going to those places like churches and getting people the resources they need and helping connect them with, resources to continue supporting them. So that's awesome. Um, in providing like, how are you I know, like, it's kind of a buzzword is, like, culturally sensitive nutrition and things like that, and especially for, again, those of us that live in non-underserved areas, it's something we need to be very aware of because we have people that come from Nigeria or other places in Africa or literally any other country, and, oftentimes, it's difficult for the diabetes educators to, like, how do we keep preserve the cultural significance of the type of food that we're eating in this area
Yeah.
while also supporting blood sugars. Tell me a little bit about your approach, especially in the area that you're in. What are some of the barriers or some of the solutions that you found for that kind of um,
Uh,
topic?
so we actually kickstarted with this like my country, Nigeria, because I'm basically from Nigeria, and then
Mhm.
but language barrier won't be a constraint because I speak
Mhm.
one of the major languages. You understand? Then I'm aware of some of the African food, what we could to eat, and all that and all that. So we are also going to be working in combination or in agreement or some and an ally or one of a member of our team is going to be a nutritionist who basically would know this and would tell us this and this is what is acceptable and this is what we could do and how we would merge that. So we are going to be a bit culturally specific So that actually could also pose a constraint because we've got several cultures in this country. There's a whole lot. So that will really, because and most members of the team may not be very conversant with that. So what we did, or what is in our radar to do, is to go and have a meeting with somebody living in those communities, have a discussion with them to give us an idea of all the things that is happening, their meals, their type of meals, their activity, their lifestyle in general. That will help us create a work plan. So we've got some people we've met with and who are willing to talk us through. We gave them some time to just go and speak to a few people, ask them what it is like in a day-to-day activity. What do they have for breakfast, lunch, when their timing, their meal timing? When do they do that? What's the activity? Do they go to the farm? Do they come back to have a meal? Do they go to work? Things like that. So we needed to get all this information. We can't just sit back in our homes or in our meeting tables and decide that we needed somebody from that community to do that. So that's what we actually did.
Oh, no, that's amazing. I think that's an important thing for everybody to remember is that even if you are familiar a bit with some of the cultural foods and things like that, there's often variations of that and like multiple
Absolutely.
cultures within that. So it is really just important to talk to people and ask them like, what do you typically enjoy? What foods bring you joy, and what do you eat? What is
Yeah.
to celebrate? All of those, and that way we can try and modify the best we can if needed. But yeah, that's awesome. That's a really good attention to something that might have gotten like you said, been a constraint, and the solution to that would be to just talk with, people within that community to see kinda what's going on, so, hopefully you'll get to try a bunch of different food, that would be exciting. That would be on my list of things to do.
I am hoping so. I'm looking for as well.
Yeah, get some samples. Cool, amazing. Um, so, yeah, what do you and I guess this is quite a loaded question because there are certainly quite a few barriers, but what do you see as sort of the biggest barriers to diabetes education and support, in this area that you're in right now? What do you see as kind of the biggest challenge you are facing and trying to support?
It's so I could give you a long list.
I know. It was a bad question. You had to pick a top 3. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we did when we met last week, me and my team, so we actually mapped that out and we started like narrowing it down on how we could provide solutions to it. Like we might not get 100%, but we would be able to get somewhere. So one of the biggest challenge that we have, and I know that everyone who lives on planet Earth has that challenge, is finances. The second challenge is manpower because in recent times, everyone needs to get paid for what they do. So the availability of individuals who has got the knowledge, skill, expertise to do that is quite lacking, if I should put it that way. So we needed to source, and then in sourcing these individuals, we are going farther away to actually make them available. All right. Then it's a bit another thing, another constraint we might be having is time availability. Because when I'm available, most members of my team may also not be available. So, but we are trying to work our ways around it. And we made ourselves understand that all of us can never be available at the same time. All right. So we just needed to work with what we have because if we delay, they say delay is dangerous. So the more we delay, the more things get out of the way. We need to speak, we need to give, we need to empower, and we need to educate. So it is basically the manpower with then the financial constraint, and then the time constraint. So, but are we going to get there? We may not really get there 100%, but we just have to get there. I will feel very bad if another individual dies under my roof living with diabetes. God, no, no.
I hear ya. Yeah, that's a good, um it's something like, I guess when we always think of financial barriers, like you're saying, like, that's a pretty regular, experience for a lot of the issues in the world. But yeah, it's not necessarily like that there aren't when we talk about access, it's that manpower access. Like, how do we get the people that have that knowledge to this place and make sure that they can function and live, and serve properly? That's why it's so important that we have, that we're funding programs and things like that so we can get people and get technology and get medications and all that good stuff to the place it needs to go to. So, um, well, I think you're and I agree, like, it's at a certain point, you're just like, "It's not gonna be perfect, we just gotta get going and do what we can with what we have." So, I think that's
Absolutely.
great.
At some point, we were aiming for a bigger population with this outreach, but we were really, really constrained. But I'm like, let's not get discouraged. We just have to do what we can with what we have and then keep planning. It's not going to be a one, two, three, four outreach. It's going to be a lifetime, something we need to plant that would stay, live and speak as posterity for us, even when we are not there. Do you understand? Because diabetes was there before we came and may still be there even after we leave. So we just needed to place a footprint on the ground so that people could get help. People need help. People need help. Take it from me.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Well, in that vein of it, I guess, what advice would you give to other, like, educators and nurses or just people listening that want to expand their impact beyond the clinic? I guess, what are some obviously, starting a program like yours takes a lot of, like, we're finding a lot of gusto and a lot of, planning and resources. So, even just ways that we can support work like you're doing already or work that's already out there, what advice do you have for people, that want to do a little bit more beyond clinic?
Okay, so basically, I have been opportune to speak with people and I have encouraged them, let's say upcoming nurses. I would always say if you are given an opportunity to choose a specialist area, please choose diabetes. It's one area that I love. But if you're currently in the diabetes ward, assisting individuals living with diabetes, I just want to assure you that you're doing the best thing in the whole world, honestly, and that if you wish to do further, please start from where you are in your clinic room, in your office. Make a difference. Just understand that the person you are speaking with is not just a patient, is a soul that needs to be reached out to, that needs to be listened to. So always start from where you are. The diabetes champion actually came out of one of my clinics with someone. Honestly, that was where it got bettered from. I realized that every individual living with diabetes needs someone to hold their hands, walk to them one on one, talk to them as if they are a human being and not a patient. It's two different things altogether. But please start from where you are. I actually encountered, sorry, I'm digressing, but I encountered a patient who specifically told me he wrote it in a newspaper about me. And he was like, when he was diagnosed with diabetes, that I helped him. I made diabetes become so little that he was able to manage and still managing. all the way. So that really made me teary. I screenshot it. I prayed like I'm happy with it, honestly. So I realized that every individual wants someone to hold their hands together. And we can always do that if we form like a force together. Start from where you are. Know that the next person that is listening to you just needs some form of comfort, some form of understanding, some form of help, and some form of support. We will always get there. We will always get there. It's just one step at a time.
You clocked me because I am so I definitely I'm somebody that's like, "I'm not doing enough. I need to do bigger and reach more
Me
people," and,
too.
so it's always a good reminder that we do have to, like, that there are people within our very nearby community and things like that, and within our clinic that need our help in similar ways. So, that's a good reminder that, if you feel like you can't expand or anything like that, that's okay. You're doing quite a bit in your
You're doing the best. If you feel just because I'm in the United Kingdom and I wanted to also reach home, reach Africa. That's just why I needed to move. Not like relocate, no, but reach out to them with words of education, resources, skills, materials that they require. Honestly, it's been my dream. It's really been my dream, honestly. So if you are not opportune to do that, you're already doing it. With you being in the clinic, talking to the patient, being by their bedside, holding their hands, talking with them, you're doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot. I wasn't even in the outreach department or the outreach vision when I actually got the feedback from the patients. It was a one on one discussion, it was a face to face patient clinic. So you are actually on it. So please keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're doing more than anybody.
you changing my life in a podcast, Christabel. Well, I'm supposed to be a neutral party here, but
Oh
you were
my God.
it's a good thing to remember because yeah, it eventually, yeah, it's sometimes it's hard, I think, to remember how much of an impact you have, when you're seeing so many different people, but yeah, that's a good point. And I think, like, just to add, like, if somebody does feel like I think using your voice to bring awareness to lack of accessibility and things like that is a very powerful way to outreach as well. You don't have to go somewhere necessarily or start something like that, although that's great. But allowing, making sure that we're bringing awareness and trying to get funding for programs that already exist, is a way to do that from where you are currently as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just being really loud and annoying about it is my favorite way to do it. We're big. Um, well, this has been a very hopeful conversation, so that's exciting. How do you personally you do so much. How do you and it sounds like you get a lot of joy from your job, so that's amazing. But how do you personally manage the balance between like all of these demands professionally that you have and then personal well-being in such a high touch role? Like I know you said like by the time you get home you realize you are very exhausted.
Yeah.
What are some ways you self-care?
Okay. Mm. One of the awkward or one of the ways I self care is being with my children. Oh my God. Oh, that's the best thing that ever happens to me. Like anytime I'm with them, it is fun.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
we tend
play. Play is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we tend to have lots of fun together. I don't stay with them often, and that I think that's why I'm a bit tuned to work and can actually tune off work. You understand? So um so once I am with them, I tend to switch off anything about work. It is just them. So it gives me a lot of time to ease off, rewind, refire, and get re energized. So when I get back to work, it is work all the way. Do you understand? And then in their absence, I think I get so into my job, so I don't miss not having my kids around. So that's just one of the things I do, how it helps me. So I switch off from them and I concentrate on my job so I don't miss them. So that's why it's like I'm able to give like I wouldn't say 100%, but at least a 90% of my time attention to my job. Yeah, that's just
Right, right. No, that's great. I love it. That's again, it's something we don't, um like, if I ask a self-care question, people are like, "Oh, yeah, I sit in the bathtub with my cucumber," and, that kind of but yeah, no, play and being with people and being with your children is a totally valid and
Oh my
way to
God, that's the best thing. Yeah, that's always the best that happened to me. I'm always excited because there are a lot of, oh Jesus, baby, my kids, it's a lot.
Right,
So
right.
it's a bit awkward because I don't think about, let's say, okay, let me go for vacations and all that and all
Right.
that. The children are the vacation on their own.
I
They are
love
whole,
that. Yeah.
they
No, I think
whole
that's
lot.
amazing.
You know,
Right.
my kids did sorry I'm talking about my kids because they did a video they did a video about mommy and it was fun to watch. Like it was so
Yeah.
fun to watch them trying to mimic me what I do when I'm around them.
Right, right. Did you feel like it was very accurate?
Well, yes, they were accurate, but I didn't realize I've made so much impact. They understand that they could
Yeah.
actually they frame their voice to the way I talk, my
Yeah, yeah.
gesticulations, things I say and do, and you're like, "Oh
Right.
god." So it's so much fun being with them. It's a whole level of um self-care, if I should put it that way. Don't get me wrong. I
Right.
still have time for myself. I could still I have my me time, you understand? I get into the room, lock up, and I don't want to be with anybody. I
Right,
just want to
right.
either sleep or do a reflection. But
No.
my mindset is always going here, there, even though I want to be in my room to do
Yeah.
a reflection. But being with my kids is always a time of reflection for me because I'll be like, I will ask them, what is it that mommy does that you don't like? What is it that yeah, that kind of a thing? And they tell me that, and I tell kids, they will definitely be open to you. They will tell you the
Yeah.
truth. So I tend to go back and be like, okay, I need to work on this part, and this part. So
Yeah.
it for me, that's my own time.
They are very honest for sure, in the best way. Like, it's never to it's real, with
Mhm.
what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just, like, always when I worked like, I work at, like, diabetes camps and things like that, and they are just so, when I think about my adult patients with diabetes and this makes it like, obviously, grieving is important and all of this good stuff, but kids sort of they have diabetes and they're like, "Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
this is
Oh, yeah.
unfortunate, but I'm done, like, whatever, alright." They're just so, like, resilient, and it's so fun to watch and listen to, so
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
interacting with kids is definitely I can see where that would be a good form of decompression and self-care. That's awesome. Alright, well, I'm so excited about all the stuff we talked about. I think you're doing amazing work, and you've already done so much amazing work.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
excited.
also I think I forgot to mention that we've also started this virtual reviews for um, I started it while I was still in the UK, just because I came down. I'm going to do the face-to-face outreach. So we started these virtual reviews a while ago with our patients that are in Nigeria, in other parts of the world. So we tend to just meet with them like they would want to talk to someone about their diabetes management. So we tend to book them on a Zoom meeting, a WhatsApp video call, so just so you could see my face and then we talk. So we kept talking that way and we have like supported with such health education, such comforting words or comforting moments a lot of people. I was actually on a call with a patient when I just finished the call and then jumped onto this. So that is also one of the things we do. Yeah, that's one of the
Cool.
things we do. So I am really happy to continue doing that, honestly.
Yeah. Amazing. Perfect. Well, how can I know you're a busy lady. So do you is there if people want to continue like sort of following your work or helping support your work or just cheering you on, do you have any social media or anywhere that we can or website or anything like that that we can keep seeing all the cool stuff you do?
At the moment, we haven't got a website, so we are working towards reserving the diabetes champion as our website.
Great.
So, but we've got our social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, and our email. So we've got the Facebook at Diabetes Champion, that YouTube Diabetes Champion, and then our email diabetes champion at gmail.com.
Great. Perfect.
So,
Yes. Awesome. Well, that's this again, super excited. Like you are just the most fun person. I'm super excited to see all the cool stuff you're doing and what you've already done. So thank you so much for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
all right, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast today.